How do I make this bigger so I can see the comments?
Do you know scroll dink wat my kan doen?
So,
Ek dink jy moet iets in 'n command en dan
Wow.
scroll.
command and
Yes.
oh, geez, Els,
Stick with me, I'll make you
Uh,
smart.
stick with me, I'll make you smart. Thank you, Els. That's like the 5th good idea you've had this year to show me how to make. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. What's happening? Customer training. For those that just joined, took me 20 minutes to figure out how to have that screen there, and I can still see the comments. So now we are live at 6, not at 5. Okay, cheers to everybody. Not a promotion, but milk is the best cold drink in South Africa. I have so much milk. I drink milk as if it's my job, man. This year, not today. Rabbi, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? So I'm gonna kick off with like one or two of the nice questions that I picked up that we weren't able to answer last week, and I'm gonna just dive straight into it. Whether you are here or not, I hope you are. Skylar, how do you approach conflict? How do you approach conflict? So Skylar, many people today actually avoid conflict. The reality of the matter is, if you have a team that trusts each other, the one thing that they have to do is disagree. And the more disagreement you have, respectfully, the stronger your culture becomes and the stronger your processes and procedures become. Now, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. So the wrong way is, boss comes in, sit down here, wow, offload. If you don't, this hatred and most importantly fear is created. The moment you feel afraid at work, you will never be performing at optimal levels. I mean, it's virtually impossible. So when it comes to conflict, the best conflict resolution book is, I mean, I've probably recommended this to 5,000 people. I don't know if I can put a link on Crucial Conversations. So it's a red cover, Crucial Conversations. Go and look it up. You can buy it anywhere. You can buy it on Audible, whatever program that you like. Or like George, that is one of our buying managers, he gets it on the semi-dark web as a PDF. So Crucial Conversations, absolutely phenomenal book. The idea around conflict is you have two opposing opinions and logic needs to prevail. Logic, not rank. The moment that rank always prevails, eventually what happens is less pushback, less conflict. The less pushback and the less conflict there is within a company culture and a structure or a department, that department will eventually stagnate and die. It's literally that simple. If you don't have people arguing with each other, you're not going to grow. So I think it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I can't remember exactly the time, but it was the beginning or just before the beginning of last month. We had a process in our lead distribution center that's been the same for 3 years. Okay, we haven't changed it. In my mind, it worked, and it worked well. We're selling cars, updates are nice. There's no, or very little, there will never be no, there's very little leads that aren't attended in time, feedback provided to the customers. And from the salespeople side, the conflict towards me is, we need to change this process. And everybody's got an ego. I said, what's wrong with the process? No, we're getting the customers leads maybe 2 to 3 to 4 hours later than we should have, because the customer says they inquired about a vehicle 9 o'clock. Why are you only phoning me at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock? So it's not every customer, but there is maybe 1 or 2 every second or third day. So I said, well, let's figure it out. Get everybody in the same room. That was probably, I've had tough negotiations, but that was one that till the day I die, I was fatigued. Els, do you remember that meeting?
Yeah.
Everybody's in the room. We've got F&Is. We're working off live sheets. Everybody that has something to say is in the room. Said, okay, the floor is yours. I'm going to be a spectator. I'm going to take notes and challenge. Eventually, what we figured out is our call center has to distribute the lead on a CRM that we've designed, custom built, and provide the salespeople. The moment the call center can't get a hold of you, we retry, and eventually what happens is, even though we use a VPN and it's a different cell phone all the time, there's like 23 or 25 lines, however, I'm not even sure, but over 20 lines. Eventually people will just on Truecaller mark it as spam. Even though you inquired about a car, it seems like we're spamming you. You don't know it's from us, and it's spam and nobody picks up the phone. Then we countered that to say, okay, managers of each branch, uncontactable numbers, you're allowed to phone and immediately provide feedback back to the call center, so that lead agent can capture the lead and distribute it on the CRM, so that we can follow your journey. What's important is, where did you come from? Meaning, where did we actually win to be able to capture your information on a lead form? Was it a Meta lead? Was it a TikTok lead? Was it a Google AdWords lead? Wherever it came from, we need to understand that that specific customer saw this, which means this works, and then we measure how many of those customers are actually approved, how many take up. So each ad, sometimes we're running 28, 38, 58 different sets of ads. So we need to figure out, where did you come from? But if we can't contact you, we all know 5 to 7 dealerships get your telephone number. So the quickest on the trigger will normally win. And if we're not sure, where did we find you? And we find you as number 7, the chances of us closing a deal with you are drastically diminished. 80-90% lower than if we found you the moment that you submit the lead. This is a massive conflict. And I figured out at the end, the fear from the call center was, if the salesperson gets hold of that customer first, directly, and not through the call center, the fear there was they'll lose their incentive because they didn't provide the lead. That 2-hour conversation and fight like gave me such a different lens when it comes to what is important to call center agents versus what is important to a salesperson. Call centers' main function is to send a lead and count it as one of their leads. That's how they get incentivized on sold vehicles, versus a salesperson wants to get to the customer quicker. They don't want to lose commission. They don't want to lose the opportunity to serve the customer before the 7 other dealers. Very quick and easy fix. You retain your commission, no problem. You make sure that you give them the heads up, I got a hold of this customer, the lead is created and gone. But that amount of conflict has to come with trust. So when I close the door, the outcome is, the moment that we open this door, this is resolved. Anything that happens with the door closed, I don't care, questions that you have me until 7:30. It's almost month end. It's been a long year. Everybody's fatigued, but I'm not, because I drink milk. So let's freaking go. I see there's 2 questions already.
Is Chicano Uncle Chico?
No.
Okay. Die Boer Avontuur is asking, hi Uncle Bobby, I have few clients with bad debt. Can you help them with deals in some way?
No, brother. Bad debt is bad debt. So if you're listening to this, hoping that I can give you a magic pill or a silver bullet or some or other hack or life trick or sidestep to getting yourself approved with bad debt, unfortunately, one doesn't exist. Now, there are times when something slips through the cracks in the banking industry and they just miss something and you get approved, validated, it's your luck. But to fight through a bad debt customer, we've won Dealer of the Year back-to-back, but most importantly, Finance and Insurance Manager of the Year 3 years in a row. With 2025, we took first and second place. The boys and girls in our office are experts in their field. There is no one in South Africa that does it as well as them. I'm not saying it, data said it, on the system that every single dealership uses, including We Buy Cars, including you name the dealer, they use Signia. Okay. Outside of a couple of new small franchise dealerships that use Seriti, but majority is Signia. Now, a 50-50 borderline deal, that I can get through. If you've got the customer on the correct car, if you've got the customer on the correct equity, and if you've got the customer on the correct risk profile in terms of the risk of the vehicle versus his equity and affordability. That's almost, I'm going to use a strong word, that's easy to get through. But if Westbank, for example, goes and digs into your credit record and you are 8,000 or 9,000 rand behind on an account, on a house, whatever the account that you're behind in, you are behind, they'll decline that deal, unfortunately, immediately. Another problem that we see every single day, and this is a tough one, people who take out a personal loan automatically get declined. And the theory is the bank looks at your application and say, okay, you've got a personal loan, irrelevant of what your income is. I've got customers saying, Uncle B, I earn 56K after deductions. I'm getting declined. Do you have a personal loan? Yes. Okay, cool. Here's the problem. The bank says, all right, this person with 56,000 Rand after deductions can't manage their lifestyle. So they had to take out a personal loan on top of all the other credit that they have to get through the month. Now they want to go and borrow more money from a lender so that they can get through life and buy a car. It's an automatic decline. All right, having said that, Uncle Bobby, just want to say I appreciate you. Thank you for the information. You're amazing. This is Milk and Jonolo. Yes, see, brother. Oh, it's a sister. Those glasses with the white frames. Nice. I'm jealous. I appreciate you too. Thank you so much for the compliment. Tristan, Uncle Bob, what is your opinion on dealerships that don't accept trade-ins? I've never been asked that question. And my opinion is not good, because a dealership is a beggar. You can't be a chooser as well. Outside of, if it's against dealership policy to accept rebuilt cars or AAPV, I had an argument with one of my best friends. He is one of probably top 5 attorneys in the country. Like, this guy is legit. I've been sued so many times, more times than I have hairs on my head. We've only lost 2 cases. Okay, one was we built something that we were not supposed to. That my bad. Okay, we had to break it down. And there was another deformation case that we lost a couple of years ago. I'm going to tell the whole story probably in the next week or 2, because we've settled. We had to settle. I said something online that I wasn't supposed to. I didn't know I was supposed to not touch on that, but it is what it is. I said it. I said I'm sorry. I had to pay a small fine. It's fine. We move on. We carry on with life. This person is hyper intelligent and smart. He said to me, Bobs, I've got this bargain of a lifetime. It's a VX200. It's the first car I'm not going to buy from you, but it's got AAPV numbers. I said, don't buy the car. You haven't heard the price. I don't care what the price is. Don't buy the car. Every single roadblock that you're going to go through, it's going to be a mess. Number 1. Number 2, you can't properly insure the vehicle. Number 3, you can't finance the vehicle. The banks don't want to finance AAPV. Yeah, but I'm going to buy it cash. That's fine. And in 5 or 6 years, when you want to sell it, you're going to get peanuts for the car. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he's both like litigation. He does everything, including criminal. So now me and him are arguing on the phone, and he's arguing against me like a criminal lawyer, until eventually I said, listen to me. Do you trust me? Yes. Is that why you phoned me? Yes. Don't buy the car. Don't buy an AAPV car that costs 800,000 Rand and you're saving 300,000 or 400,000 Rand. It's not worth it. Just pay the extra money, get a car that's right, insure it properly, you will depreciate less. That's my advice to you. Phone me for advice. Whether you take it or not, salute, my brother. Eventually he said, Bobs, I trust you. That's why I phoned you. I was going to pay. You were my last call before I brought the car for a final inspection, and I was going to pay the people. So, sweet, left the car. So in a special circumstance situation like that, where the dealer doesn't accept that trading, I understand. But if you take them a Polo Vivo and you want to buy a C200 from them and they don't want to take the Polo Vivo, yeah, then, you know, there's something wrong. Quentin Keith Mole. How do you do cold calling to get more work for your electrical company? Quentin Keith Mole, not only are you a customer, a business partner, but you're also my friend. So thank you for the question, brother. I hope you're doing well. So Quentin, me and you can have an in-depth conversation, but quickly I'm going to answer your question this way. You need to reverse engineer who your customers are. I know who you've done work for. Like all the dealers that I mentioned earlier, you've built, I think if I'm not mistaken, you did the electrical work at Midstream, if I'm not mistaken, at We Buy Cars. That's a massive place. That is your CV, brother. So my name is Quentin Keith Mole. I've done work for Mitmac Motors. I've done work for We Buy Cars. I've done work for all these companies. This is what we do. We provide you with a COC certificate. These are my references. Brother, you can send my number to 50,000 references and I'll always answer the same way. When anything goes wrong at my house, you're the person that I phone, because not only do I trust you, I know once you install whatever it is that you install, I don't have a problem with it. So I think you should use your CV a little bit harder than you are. And I know you're a humble guy, you're a very nice person, but there's nothing wrong with you having a little bit of a humble brag to say, I've done the electrical components there, that dealership, that dealer. Do you know Dealer of the Year? I don't think there's a wire in this studio or on this floor or any one of our 5 branches, plus the new one, 6 branches, whatever branches we have, that you haven't touched. So that's your CV. Now, having said that, I would go and network. I would literally go and network on LinkedIn with people that actually plan. So all the architects, I will go and target those people first and use my CV. I'm you now. I'm going to use my CV and I'm going to throw names with references, with telephone numbers. I'm sure if you give Uncle Fawn's number out and say, this is Fawn, you know which Fawn. Okay, I've done the work. You're welcome to phone him and ask him how the work was done. This is Uncle Bobby. I've done the work at all 6 dealerships. This is a reference. Phone them for a reference for me. So that's where I would start. But if you want to take this conversation deeper, brother, you know where I am. We can have a coffee. The beauty with you, Quentin, is you're a business that provides a specific service, and you don't need to go very broad. You can just target architects, you can target developers, you can target maintenance people, and you just need to advertise, brother. You see me do this every single day. Every time you drive past me at the depot where I greet you with your beautiful red Isuzu that you bought from Mitmac Motors, I'm marketing myself, telling people who I am, what I do, and the company that I represent, and what our accolades are. I'm not saying that we Dealer of the Year back to back just to brag and make me feel good. I'm saying that because that creates trust in the brand. Okay, people want to buy from the best. People want to do work with the best. How do you know you're the best? Well, I've served this community and there's my references. I hope I help you, but anytime, brother, I'm indeed available when you're ready. Danny Deploy. Hi, Uncle B. Might call you in January with a special vehicle request to see if you can source it for me. 100%, brother. We're ready when you are. So, special vehicle request, if you go very special, the timeline will just increase. So if you tell me, Uncle B, I'm looking for BMW M140 between 450 and 600. I want to pay 10K a month or 12K a month, 1 or 2 days, you've got your car. But if you tell me, I'm currently looking for this car in real time, that's why the BMW came to mind. I'm looking for a black M1 240i, not a Metro spec, so sunroof. I want a full spec black, and I'm prepared to pay you whatever you want. It's been 4 or 5 days. I literally can't find the black one. I'm willing to take a white one and wrap it at my expense, because it's such a cool custom at my expense. Now, Uncle B, I want a black car. I want to put PPF on it, and I want a black car underneath. I don't want it wrapped. I don't like a wrap. I want a black car. So depending on how special the car is, the timeline will increase. Shot boy from the south side. Marlon Jean Boyson. Marlon Jean Boyson. Your profile picture looks like you're a tough guy, dude. So all I'm going to show you is love. I'm not going to argue with you. Nothing like that. Thank you. Appreciate you from the south side. From the north side, greeting you. We total opposites. Okay, Sook and X. Should I buy a car through car finance from a bank or save and buy it cash? What do you suggest I should do? So it's a very cool question. The best first prize will obviously be to buy a vehicle cash because you save in terms of interest. Now, having said that, if you're going to be using the vehicle as a vehicle to commute, to go to work, to come back, to generate income, you're going to be using that vehicle, let's say for example 3 years. The payments that you pay within 3 years will equal to the value 32 to 36 months. That's the sweet spot. Equal to the value, car's out of warranty, out of service plan, you can then trade it in, get a new one. You will never own a car to say, this car's on my name and it's my car. The challenge comes when you buy a vehicle cash 3 years later, it's also out of warranty, it's also out of maintenance plan, it's also out of service plan. It's not only buying the car, it's insuring it, you need to maintain the vehicle, and it will also depreciate. The moment that you want to sell it, you'll take a similar crack. After 3 years, you probably lose 35% of the value. Just like that, after 3 years. So unless we go and I ask you 7, 8, 9, 10 more questions, very hard to answer what you just said. But maybe I gave you a lens that you didn't have. Okay, Leon Lombard. Last question, when is the best to pay a deposit? When doing the finance application or after approval before the first payment? So Leon, funny enough, this morning I'm in the gym. I gym with a very, very cool doctor. He goes to the same facility, who is a plastic surgeon. Now, this morning we walk down the steps, we go sauna, get dressed, go to the little shop that they have. They sell smoothies and sandwiches and all this other stuff. This is how good looking this doctor is. When I come in there, everybody, Uncle Bobby, hey, nutter, because I order a nutter, a small nutter. It's like peanut butter, it's the best. It's like, I think there's drugs inside because it's freaking addictive with milk. So when he walks next to me, all the girls, they says, you see how the chicks are looking at me and not at you? I'm like, look at you, bro. So this guy is like handsome. He's a plastic surgeon. He saves lives. He's an alpha male. And he says, Pops, I want to buy my son an Audi A1 TFSI. He's 17. I want a just used car, maybe a year old, 35,000 Ks max. I want to finance the vehicle. Okay, when should I pay a deposit? I want to put 50% down, and then by the time the boy's driving it a year or so out of school, I want to pay it off, and that's his gift. That's his kickstart in life. I said, first of all, congrats on thinking that way. You're a great dad. Like, the boy's lucky, and I'm sure he knows it because you brought him up right. Secondly, the best time to pay a deposit, and it's the best time for both dealer and customer, and I'm going to explain it to you. It's like I'm talking to him now without a camera. The best time to pay a deposit is after you finance the vehicle. Firstly, if you do a no deposit deal on, let's say, 500,000 Rand with 250 down, the bank sees this as, we're going to borrow you 500,000 Rand over 72 months or 84 months, whatever the term is. Over that period, calculating the interest that we're going to get, we're going to make this much money. You're a low risk customer. Everything is sweet. Here's a deal with a great interest rate. Versus 500,000 Rand car, 250 down. Even though you're a great customer, for 250, we're not going to be able to make as much interest over the 72 or 84 month period. Most probably you'll settle early, so we'll make little to no interest. It doesn't matter if you're a category 1 customer. I promise you now, you're not going to get the same rate. That's the benefit for the consumer side. The benefit for us as a dealer, I'm saying this on camera, the benefit for us as a dealer, the higher amount that you finance up front, the more DIC we get, dealer incentive commission, the kickback. So the lower the amount that you finance, the lower the DIC, the kickback is for us. So that's literally me and the customer partnering up against the biggest, baddest wolf, which is the bank, because they're the real gangsters, right? The bank is the real gangster. So we're partnering up together, and we're almost pulling a move to get you the best interest rate up front us the best commission. Once you go and pay that deposit in of 250 or whatever it is that you want to pay in, it's called, the word is called capital reduction. Capital reduction. There's two choices there. You can shorten the term with the same installment. So instead of paying it for 72 months, you shorten it literally in half, whatever it is, 36 months. So you're not going to pay it for 5 or 6 years, you're going to pay it for 3 years. Okay? Or you can keep the term the same and your installment on 250 will go down, what is it, like 5 grand a month. So instead of paying 10,000 a month, you pay 5,000 a month. In his case, he says, great, then I shorten the term and I'll pay a bit extra so that I can finish the car. Once the boy is out of school, you know, everything is sweet and the boy's got an asset on his name that he can later on, once he graduates and gets a nice job, trade it in and have a massive deposit. So it's a technical question. I hope I didn't lose you guys anywhere, but it benefits both the dealership and the customer to almost collude, come into cahoots together against the bank. So everybody wins in that situation. Thank you for the question.
I have another one.
Okay, shoot.
Simpson B is asking, if I sell my car to a dealer but still owe the bank, the dealer takes the car, pays me but not settle with the bank, what can I do?
That's a difficult place to find yourself. I answered a similar question last week. The dealer must settle the bank. Now, a dealership is a bunch of people that work in a building. I'm not saying this is the case, but it might happen. They just missed the settlement. Okay, so if your debit order goes off, depending on what time of the month the dealership settled that car, it might be towards the end of the month. For example, if you come to me now and you say, Uncle B, I've got this car, settlement is 150,000 Rand. Let's say I pay you 200,000 Rand. So 50 goes to you, we settle 150. Because it's so close to your debit order date, it works on a, it's like on an electric band. Everything is uploaded. Your installment will go off. On a TikTok live about 2-3 days ago, a lady reached out, Sasha. So I said, Sasha from Russia. So we had a big laugh. And we bought her daughter's car. She said, Bobs, will the payment go off at the end of the month? I said, yes. All you do afterwards is we'll help you. We'll make sure that the bank refunds the payment with a proof of payment that we've sent. Okay. So that might be the case in your case if the debit order went through. If the debit order went through and you call the bank and it hasn't been settled, it could be human error. I'm not defending the dealership or our industry. It's happened to me in 20 years. It's happened twice where we physically forgot to settle a car. Everything was done. Everything was uploaded. The account ladies didn't settle the car. Customer reached out. They said, Bobs, like my car's not settled. I said, listen to me. I've been doing this longer than, I've been alive. It's settled. We've never made a mistake like this. Says, Uncle B, car's not settled. It was like 3-4 years ago. I said, hold on. Ran up to accounts, and then everybody's holding their head like that. We settled the vehicle, apologized to the customer, paid back the installment. That was that. So either it's actually a human error, because we're all human, we all make mistakes. Listen, I don't think anyone on any one of these platforms can walk on water. If you can, take a video, send it to me. It will be the first time that we see it, okay? There's only one person that walked on water, okay? That's our savior. But outside of that, it is possible to make a mistake. Just reach out to the dealership. If the dealership has stories, then the easiest thing to do is connect with the bank. This is the situation. The bank has massive, massive leverage over every dealership, including ours. They will put the pressure on the car will be settled. But I hope, for our sakes here, it's just human error. They forgot, or it was towards the end of the month and the debit order actually went through. But I would phone the bank first, because if you found a dealer and the dealer's trying to delay or rolling money or doesn't have cash flow to settle now, they might tell you a story. The bank will tell you the real story. So that's where you start, and then you can contact the dealership and say, listen, must be a mistake. Please, I would expect a proof of payment in the next hour or so. I want you to show me that you've paid the car. But a good question, and I hope I gave you insight and some peace of mind. It does happen that the dealership misses this. Okay, Uncle B, why people trade in their BMW so quickly after buying it? Brother, I don't know what people you've been chatting to, but you need new people. Listen, man, jokes aside, anything's possible. You know, a customer will buy we've got two M6s on the floor. We've got the black one that we've advertised really well, and we just bought, it's called the Silverstone color. So Silverstone, it's like a blue silver color. M6 V10 Formula 1 engine is freaking rocket ship. So the depot surprises me. They say to me Friday, listen, don't ask for a car. Don't ask me what car I'm bringing you. Get ready, boy. It's filled up with fuel. You're going to have the joy of your life this weekend. Anyway, this rocket ship pulls up, and I'm enjoying the car, and I'm driving it in manual mode, and I'm having a ton of fun. I'm like, what's the consumption on this freaking car? I go and look at the consumption. It was 28 liters per 100 kilometers. Okay? That's freaking insane. A 320 diesel gives you like 5 liters per 100 kilometers. So that car is 6 times heavier on fuel. So many times people will buy a sports car and then they're like, holy shit, I can't afford the fuel and the insurance and the installment. Like, I literally don't have money for food. And then they go back and, you know, they do the sensible thing and research what's the next car that I can actually afford. So maybe on a BMW something like that happened, who knows. But generally the BMs, we sell hundreds of them a month. The BMWs have their small hojos, control arm bushes on the SUV. So if it's an X, the way that you test that, you drive slowly on the road 30-40 kilometers an hour, and you actually stomp on the brake. You don't push the brake hard, you just stomp on the brake like that. So your foot does this on the brake like that. And if you hear clock, 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 clock underneath on any X car, it's control arm bushes. Some of them have upper and lower, some of them have a single control arm. That's normally the hojo on the X drives and the bigger SUVs. Now on the faster cars, they like to burn coil packs. The challenge is most people will go to a service department, or in the beginning, this is how we learned this. A customer will phone and say, drive moderately, drivetrain error on my BMW. I've bought it only like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, fuck. Okay, bring the car back. Go and pick up the vehicle, bring it in. Okay, cylinder number 4, misfire. Check the coil pack, it's dead. Put a new coil pack, the car is sweet. 3 weeks later, the customer says, I thought you guys fixed my car. Holy shit, what happened? Okay, bring the car back, cylinder number 2. So now we've done 4 and 2. Okay, eventually we said enough is enough. We can't have unhappy customers every couple of weeks. So the moment that happens to a BMW in our environment, the moment it happens, we bring the car in, we change all 6 coil packs, all 6 plugs. We never see that customer until it's due for service again. So depending on where you went, because can you imagine how frustrating that is if you've got a coil pack misfire and then 2 weeks later you've got another one, 2 months later you've got another one, because there's 6 of them or 4 depending on the engine of the car. When it comes in, change all of them, peace of mind, salute, and carry on with life. So I hope I didn't avoid your question, but I tried to answer it politically correct, because you like jabbing my brand here, brother. By the way, Mercs are not like that. Mercs and Audis, if a coil pack blows, you just change the one, then the rest hold forever. It was maybe an electrical fault, but on the BMW brand specifically, it's such a common fault. Even on M cars, even M cars have given me that depression. By the way, M cars, that's the only problem that I've ever had, like nothing else, really. The guys crash them because they maybe drink or they have too much fun with that one button that you should never press, but mechanically, like bulletproof. All right, next question. Love to sell and love to learn and want to help looking at cars, value add to assist. I'm moving to George in Jan. Okay, so Yaku now. I'm going to be gentle, brother. Okay, grammar. Why I can comment on grammar is because my grammar sucks just like yours. It's called Grammarly. Grammarly. It's a free app. Download Grammarly. It will help you. And it also cross-pollinates across all your platforms. But having said that, I'm going to answer your question this way. An evaluator in a company is highly skilled. So some of our evaluators have red seals, which means they're qualified, petrol and diesel mechanics. It's a very, very high skill. We're busy training a young man that we really like really, really like. He came in as a driver. I trust him so much that recently on an event, I sent him with a Porsche to go and pick up the CEO of a company that's listed on the JSE, and he probably top 10 company entrepreneur CEOs in the country. I sent him to go and fetch this like heavyweight top G guy. He picked him up, dropped him off, waited for his meeting to end, picked him up, dropped him off at home. The moment he dropped him off at home, he phoned me, says, what does so-and-so do? Said he's a driver. What did he say in the car? Did he smoke in the car? I'm gonna murder him. He says he didn't smoke in the car, never said anything wrong. Bobs, you need to grow this person. This boy is a sponge, and he like constantly asks me very eloquent questions and speaks about you and speaks about his future. Said, I know, brother. And couple of weeks later, we had a reshuffle at the depot, and there was an opening, and he's in his 4th week of training to become a buyer. And only now, after evaluating 30, 40, 50 cars a day, that's customers that want to sell us cars, including cars that we send out to the panel beater that he has to mark. There's a defect here, there's stone chips, this needs to be done. Also about 50 to 60 to 70 per week. And then he reevaluates that same car when it comes back. Sometimes you'll see on our videos, we've got an info sheet with what's marked to be done. So the car goes out, and then when it comes back, obviously they've got quality control, but we need to have our own quality standards higher than theirs could ever be. And then he has to reject cars. In 3 to 6 months, he will be ready to go on the road and evaluate and buy vehicles with eyes that are better than mine. That's the rule. So, just saying, yeah, evaluate cars for us in the Western Cape will end up in a big disaster, because you are not yet skilled, and it's not something that I can teach you over the phone. It's physically, you have to every day do this for an extended period of time to make sure that, how do you check a silver car? Okay, how do you check a pearl white car? When is a pearl white car actually off color? Because a brand new pearl white car, put it in the sun at a certain angle, the whole thing looks off color. It looks white in front and dark gray at the back. So how do you actually check it? Where do you feel the ridges, etc.? It's a very complex job. It's one of the most difficult and responsible jobs in our business, because he is the eyes, and then Mosi will obviously on the system, based off Mosi and the team, based off what is picked up, he will absolutely line for line say, this is the reconditioning cost that we have to incur, this is how much it will cost to bring the vehicle to our standard. It's a yay or nay. Then when the car comes in, the depot buyer has to then re-evaluate his evaluation, and if there's a discrepancy over a certain amount, first time it's training, second time it's training, third time you pay. That's the rule. So we've got a bit of a leeway, 6,000 Rand. If the car's recon is 20 and you mark 25, you're safe. But if you mark 27, we've got a problem. You are over-evaluating a vehicle. If it's 20 and you only marked 13, there's also a problem. You are under-evaluating a vehicle. So it's a very fine line for us to remain profitable and have our standards high. Hope that answers your question, brother.
Can I do one from TikTok?
Yeah.
Madly is saying, how do you feel about rent to own? They are so expensive.
Madly, you need to look at it from a risk-reward perspective. If you are opting for rent to own, you're a high-risk customer. There's no one that can get Westbank Finance that goes to rent to own because they want to do a rent to own. So your risk category is sky high. Think about this way. That business is a business. That's what it is. It needs to, at the end of the year, at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, report a profit. How do they report a profit? The only way that they can do it is manage the risk. So we are prepared to give you a vehicle that no one else is prepared, but under our conditions. It has to be more expensive. It's just, logically, it doesn't make sense to be competing in the same type of interest rate space, no deposit, 84 months, with a customer that has 7 accounts that are behind and all the banks decline you. So from that point of view, I'm not defending them. I'm not saying that charging consumers 28% interest rate is the right thing to do, but sometimes things happen in your life, and I always see it as a temporary solution while you fix the actual problem. So there's a very nice leadership course that's done by Bill Clinton. It's on masterclass.com, and I've probably watched that leadership course 50 times. And what Bill Clinton goes and does in those 90 minutes is, this is how I negotiated oil deals. So, you know, outside of whatever you can think of Bill Clinton, whatever you want to think, Epstein Island, you know, I'm using the context of negotiation, mindset, and the way that he approaches a problem leader to leader. Because when you're meeting with a Russian president as the American president, you are meeting a heavyweight champion of the world, and you are one as well, just different parts of the world. And he mentioned something very cool, and it stuck with me. If you fall off a bicycle, okay, sometimes it's just a scratch and you need to put a plaster on it. It heals, you can carry on. Sometimes you need surgery. Okay, if you fall off the financial bicycle, things happen in your life. Sometimes you need just a plaster, sometimes you need surgery. The moment that you need surgery, that means the recovery period is going to be longer. You're going to have to catch up your debts. You're going to have to bring it down to zero, wait the 90 days and then reapply. And while you're undergoing surgery, if you absolutely really need transport and rent to own is your only option, that's what you're going to have to do, but it will cost you. All right. Uncle Bobby in the building, 404 Dondre. Robert Bolton music. Huh, like Michael Bolton. How do we as a band approach you guys in order to assist us to travel? Shit, man, we're trying to travel, but the venues don't want to pay. Keen to travel and show, but the logistics is always an issue. So I don't know what your band is called, and I'm not gonna name and shame the bands that we've partnered up with in the past. However, we stopped it, and I'll tell you why. If I name the names, it's like household names. Everybody knows who these people are, and it's multiple bands. We'll go and drop off a bus. They'll go on tour with a bus, Opikopi or one of these places. We get the bus back. It's messed up. There's beer bottles everywhere. They've spilled beer on the seat. They've had 17 groupies in there. I'm like, dude, look at this thing. It's like you like literally like you ruined our asset. Like you should at least, bro, just go and wash the thing before you bring it to us, or try. Chips everywhere, fucking weed everywhere, bottles of alcohol. So to the one guy I said, sis man, like this is fucking embarrassing. Like from now on, please arrange Cherry or Haval or any one of these other people to go and give you a bus to ruin. You don't need to give me shout outs on your Instagram. You can talk bad about me. I don't care. It's fine. I'll never work with you guys. And it's like 10 of them. So I'm not saying you'll do it, but it's just got a bad taste in my mouth. And I would love to help you, bro. But based on historical data, it wasn't a good move for us at all. At all. And then we did some radio presenters. That was even worse. The one radio presenter, we gave him a car for 3 years because he was going through stuff. And the moment that he came right, and now he's financially lacquer, and now he's got options, he offered Elsie a job. Like we're having a meeting, I went to take a pee, and he tried to poach Elsie to go and work for his radio station. And he doesn't have a car, he's driving one of our cars. This is probably one of the top 3 biggest names in the country. Retard. So I composed myself, he left. The team wrote him a message to say I don't even know the words that they used. We've changed strategy, and going forward we will be sponsoring a different industry with a car, and we're coming to fetch our car Monday, so you have a week to make a plan for another vehicle. And then I wanted to say you effing retard at the end, but that part was deleted. So I'm not bashing you. You like good guys, but based off of your colleagues, I can't give you a car. I'm sorry, bro. Yappy, how to deal with an unreasonably difficult customer? Is it better to let them go regardless of the value? Yappy, you can never do a good deal with a bad person, brother. It's impossible to do a good deal with a bad person. You can only do a good deal with a good person. And I'm not saying that customers are wrong. I don't know what the circumstances are. Many times, 2 days ago, a customer phones in. He ends up with Joseph. Joseph helps him out with a vehicle. His interest rate is 13.75%. It's not the best rate. So I dig into the deal. I see his ID number starts with a 6. So this is not a youngster. This is my dad's age. Why is the rate so high? Call the customer. He's complaining. He's moaning about the rate. He says, I'm 63 years old. I can't pay 13.75. I said, sir, 3 banks approved you. 1 validated. 13.75, 15.15, and the other one was like nearly 17%. Why? Because I haven't dug into the deal. I just found the customer. He says, I don't know. I said, okay, sir. When was the last time you bought a car on finance? And he said to me in Afrikaans, ek koop alles kontant. I said, okay, sweet. No problem, sir. May I explain to you the interest rate and why it's so high? Yes, you may. Okay, sir, you're a first-time car buyer. I've bought more cars than... I said, sir, in the financial industry, you're a first-time car buyer. They don't have historical data. If I punch your ID number and you've owned 80 cars, not one was financed, you, sir, are high risk in the bank's eyes. The guy gets heavy with me. There's like lots of aggression. I said, sir, I don't borrow you the money. Okay? Westbank is borrowing you the money. So your aggression is understandable, but this is the best rate out of the 3 banks that approved you, and they're the only ones that validated. Your aggression should be headed towards your history, not even the bank, because you're a high-risk customer. The guy gets even heavier than that at me. I said, sir, I do understand your frustration, and I can hear in your voice that you're upset and angry with me. So I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to cancel the deal, and I'm not going to sell you the car under these circumstances, because me and you, it's like I can understand that you see me as a child and a son, but I'm the best at this who ever lived. There's no one on the continent that you can speak to on the phone that will provide you with this information as eloquently, as gently as I can. So having said that, I'm walking away from this deal. Sends me a voice note. Yeah, but I'm not a first-time car buyer. You don't listen. You must listen when I speak. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Have a nice day. I close the deal. I say to Joseph, listen, bro, I will rather give you a house deal than let you deal with this customer. I can't handle him. He's going to overpower everybody. He's a bully. Sweet. 2 hours later, the F&I that helped him phones me and he says, Mr. So-and-so said that I must drive to you and give you a hug. I said, a hug? I said, Mr. So-and-so, you must just leave me alone. Stay out of my life. I don't want a hug from you. He says, he thought about it and you are right. Would it be okay to continue with the deal? I said, absolutely. Continue with the deal as long as it's sunk in why the rate is there and he doesn't get aggressive with me because he's not a first-time car buyer. He understands that he actually is in the financial environment. I'm prepared to do the deal. There's no hard feelings. Everything is sweet. I'll over-deliver. I won't treat him any differently. That conversation never happened as long as we're on the same page. So walking away from a deal in a situation where you lost control and the person's trying to bully you, I encourage you to do that because I only want to serve the people that want to be served by someone like me. Because if I give you 3 hours of my day, I could have given that 3 hours to someone else and actually help them and not have an argument where you're not listening to what I'm saying. So I walk away from more deals than you can imagine every single month because I never bully, but I never get bullied. The moment you bully me, I understand, sir, perfectly fine. I appreciate you. In the future, we'll improve. I'll give you my best in the future. It wasn't good enough this time. I hope someone serves you better than me. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And I just walk away from the deal. It has to be a good deal cannot be done with a bad person. A good deal can only be done with a good person. And if the intent, we're a business. Like, I'm not going to hide the fact that we're making money on your car. That's how we get to pay 185 people's salaries and take great care of their families. But if you want me to lose on transactions and do funny things, I just walk away. Our brand is reputable. Someone else will come for that vehicle, and I'll do a good deal with a good customer. But you can't do a good deal with a bad person. That's the fact. Now, when you screw up, okay, Japie Greiling, when you screw up and the customer revs you, it's all on you, brother. You better take out a big fucking mop and mop up the mess that you made. And if that mop's not big enough, you need to go and find out who has a bigger mop and mop it up, because then your ego is out the door. You need to serve and you need to repair the mess that you've made. So if you've made a mess, fix the mess. But you know, upfront customers that are rude, combative, bullish, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. That customer will bully you from the moment they buy the vehicle. You know, 10 years down the road, he'll still continue bullying you. Just walk away peacefully. Don't create an enemy. I said to the uncle, I understand you're 63 years old. Maybe I'm not getting through to you the way that I should be, in an eloquent way. I'm so sorry, sir. This is the information that I never gave. The bank provided, and these are the reasons. If you want a better interest rate, then it's not going to be a conventional bank. Maybe you take out a flexi bond on your home, you know, figure that part out for a better interest rate. It's not going to be with a bank, as it's your first car that you're actually buying through the bank at your young age of 63. Bye-bye. Yasin Namian, thanks for that. It was very insightful. You're welcome, brother. Marley, how do you feel about rent to own? Okay, we answered that. Luke, is there an MK1? Luke, you look like you can fit in an MK1, brother. You've got the attitude on your profile picture. Unfortunately, no. But our legend has a Velocity 1.6 drop suspension, stretch tires, big sound. If you can offer him enough money, you'll probably sell it to you, but it needs to be a large amount. Eddie doesn't need the money. Thomas, Uncle B, what car do you drive? Today I'm driving a X-Drive M340i rocket ship. Freaking awesome car. And tomorrow, because something special came into that, tomorrow I'm driving a Supra. I'm not going to sleep. We've got the most badass Supra we've ever had, with exhaust systems on. It's Tune Baboon. It looks like a dinky toy. It doesn't look real. It's freaking awesome. But today, X-Drive 340. That happened to me. The M3 I bought in Durban. Chicano, I'm not sure which story, but I'm sorry about that.
JVT is saying, Uncle B, you must start a separate session with inspirational quotes from your experiences. Big ups.
Thanks, brother. I hope some of the stuff I speak about helps you. Tamir 4501. Hello. What's up, brother? Haley Rudolph. You just are spitting awesomeness and drinking milk. Haley, it's the milk that gives me the inspiration to spit awesomeness. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate you. JVT, Uncle B. You must, okay, cool. Got that. All right. Is there any other questions that I can process with you guys in real time?
Akil Hendricks.
Yeah.
Uncle B, do you reckon I can get at least 60K for my E36 if I sell privately? It's a 316.
Yeah, you'll get 60K, 100%. Definitely. Those cars are becoming very desirable. I want to build a spin car. And I spoke to the gentleman that took me on the wildest M5 joyride of my life. I'm still like experiencing that in my dreams. And after that joyride, it seems like my driving capabilities have gone up. But I haven't tried that U-turn that he made. Maybe a little bit. One. Maybe a little bit. But having said that, those cars are actually in high demand because they build spin cars out of them, and they will go and pay you top dollar for a clean body one, and they'll go and put a big motor in it and use it as a spin car. But I hope someone that actually likes it and appreciates it actually buys your car and enjoys it. The E36 is Such a kick-ass car. The look, the smell, even when you walk inside that car, sit inside, the way it drives, the way it handles. Pity it's a 316, but it's still a cool car, man. It's worth 60.
Currently getting resprayed, body is straight as a pin. Same,
Yeah.
Same person.
Yeah. So I think this question was asked last time. What is your opinion on View for You? So I don't mind that company. I think there's definitely a place in the market for many of these companies. And it's when you walk into a dealership, think about it this way. Okay. If you walk into a dealership, see it as a boxing ring. Now, if you're a doctor, the gentleman I spoke to this morning, he's, you know, the handsome guy that all the ladies there selling juices want to chaff and touch his hand, and I'm like, they're going crazy over you. That guy is the Michael Jordan of plastic surgery. Okay, when you walk into that OR room, he is very close to walking on water. He is the GOAT in plastic surgery. If you've had an accident, if you need your, like with children, I think it's called a cleft palate. Is that what it's called?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So he's probably one of the top specialists on the planet when it comes to that. He is the MJ of the operating room. Okay. That gentleman walks into my office. I'm the MJ of that environment. He's not. As smart as he is, with the degrees that are hanging behind him, with all the years of experience, he cannot box against me in my ring. Okay, as smart as he is. Having said that, if you are a person that's in the farming industry, or you're a person that's a nurse, or you're a person that works on a production line, you are good at that industry. Walking into a dealership, you have a huge disadvantage, disproportionate disadvantage compared to the dealer's knowledge, the dealer's way of thinking, the dealer's processes, procedures. So having a intermediary company come and become the Mike Tyson to fight Mike Tyson with you, like the company View for You that you mentioned, come in and actually help you evaluate the vehicle, help you see for faults, see if there's mistakes on the car, see if there's something wrong that was perhaps not disclosed. Man, there should be more of these companies. Like literally, as long as it's transparent, as long as it's to serve, like there must be 50 of them. I really encourage that, because dealerships, not all dealerships want to serve customers. Most dealerships want to make money. Some dealerships want to make money and buy Lambos and retire. Some dealer owners. You know, the dealers that want to serve customers will accept fault. No one walks on water. No one's perfect. Man, we make mistakes. We get comebacks. It's just normal. It's part of the process. With our volumes, now and then, I can have 5 managers check a car, because that's 5 different processes before we deliver the vehicle, and something could still slip through. So if there's a company that comes in, ethical, does things by the book, and serves the consumer, 50 of them must come and you know, open up branches all over the country and assist consumers. I'm not against it at all. As long as it's done eloquently and it's in good faith, go for it. You know, bring more. So I hope that added value to your question, and I hope I answered it the way that you wanted me to answer it, because that's my truth. Okay. Mine's currently getting resprayed, body straight, value for money. Car, sports hatchback, Sunday fun drive type. No, Tigers are visually striking green. Okay, value for money, sports car, Sunday fun drive. Man, I promise you now, if I have a choice of 10 sports cars and there's a Golf R or a Golf GTI, that's the car I'm driving. It's like even a 7.5. We just did a video, a piece of content. It's our first video with a very fancy 360 camera. Elsie's got the phone in the one hand, a stick filming me there from space in the other hand, and we had fun with a Golf R. Driving that car, like when it changes gears, when it pulls you in the seat like that, doesn't lose traction, and then when it downshifts, it's like radio off, you just listen to the car and you're smiling. For me, the ultimate though is either TCR, they're quite pricey, but if you can get a nice club sport, because they've got the overboost function, a different way that the diff works. It's like a limited LS diff, limited slip diff. If you can get a very cool club sport with a nice seats, man, we had one last month that me and you still went to drive ours.
Yeah.
It was a very, very heavily tuned car. So we sold it tuned 2 years ago to a great customer. He bought probably 10 cars in between. Never wanted to bring back the club sport. Never. Didn't break it. I'm talking tuned, not bicky. Like I went up and down the street. Eddie was outside. He says, that thing is bewitched. I said, Eds, bring your M4, meet me at the robot. He says, what do you mean? I'll kill you. I said, Eds, climb in your M4, drive it hot, meet me at the robot. I'll drop you, bruh. So Eds is like, yes, that thing's out. He says, no, I'm busy with deals. so he said, no, I'm busy with deals because he'll never survive a golf pulling him. That car, but it was tuned by an absolute expert. It's like one of the funnest cars that I've ever, I don't know where that video is. Probably a month ago we did it. We posted it. If you go and search Tune Baboon Club Sport Mitmac Motors, we did a test drive. It's freaking loud. It wheels, the traction control is like, it's like non-existent. It's on, but the car is snaking all over the place in 4th gear. It's such a cool car, man. I love those cars.
There's a cool question. Cortex Noise, first time buyer with 0 credit but got over 500k budget. How can you help?
So first time car buyer, low credit score, but affordability is great. So
0 credit.
Yeah, 0 credit, no credit. Sorry, Els.
Sorry, Mr.
Peace,
Bob,
homie.
sorry.
Peace, homie.
Shit.
So 3 things need to align. Okay, your affordability. So 500k car. I'm not talking creative finance. Call it 10 grand. So your affordability must be 30% of your gross income. So if you can afford the 10k with 30% of your gross, green tick. That's the first one. Equity. So equity means this. If a vehicle's retail is 400,000 rand, but it's a very special vehicle, like the car I described earlier, that car's retail was probably 310, 300, 317, under 320. People were literally fighting to buy it at 389. Okay. Now that is about 25% above retail. On a very high risk customer like you, even though you earn well, on a high risk customer, I don't see anything over 120% of retail. So equity needs to be within 120%. So if the car's retail value is 400, it should be like a 469, 459, 479 car to green tick that box. And then the risk. So you are a high risk with a 0 score. I don't care if you earn R1 million a month. You're a high risk based on your historical data. Okay, so there's your problem. The solution to that problem, if the first 2 were ticked, the vehicle needs to be a low risk, which means as new as possible, and as popular as possible. So if it's a VW brand, a Toyota brand, if you're going to finance a Maserati Quattroporte, you know that loses half the money immediately when you drive it off the showroom floor. The accountants and the actuaries at the banks have that data. So on this brand, if we repo, which is highly likely because you earned well, but we don't know whether you're going to pay it, you're a high risk. If we repo this vehicle, is the probability that we're going to sell it on auction and get our money back high or low? It's very low. So that car will fail. But for example, that sort of budget, 7.5R or Golf 8s. Golf 8s come in slightly higher, but maybe a nice 7.5 GTR or 7.5R within the affordability bracket, the risk bracket, the equity bracket, and it's a popular car, you should be approved. So think about those 3 things, and the last thing splits into 2. So I'm going to repeat them again. Affordability, 30% of your gross. Equity, on a customer like you. Banks allow 140% on a good customer. On a customer like you, preferably 110%, max 120%, and the risk factor is you, but you sort of mediate that risk by having a as new as popular car as possible, so that if things bomb out and they have to repo the car, they can get their money back. Hope that answers your question, bro.
There's a topic change question. If you're
Sure.
interested. Q says, maybe a bit of a different question. What is your views on men's mental health and having confidence?
Okay, I love that question, man. Thank you for asking that question on this platform. And it's something that I'm obsessed with. I think of nothing more if I'm in my own thoughts. So, men's health, how I view it, because you asked me the question. Your health starts with you taking action. Now, I've been overweight, I've been fat 3 years ago. On this body, 102 kilos. Okay. Should I show them photos?
Sure.
I can show you guys photos. Let me find these photos. I need to show you fat Bobby. Brother, you're going to fall off your back. Okay, so, and I'm going to answer the mental health question this way. I just want to find the picture. Okay, that's fat Bobby. Okay. All right. 3 months later, at 70 kilos, that's what I look like after 3 months only. Okay, so 102, 72, 30 kgs in 3 months. Okay, now I'm going to talk about my mental health at 102 kgs versus my mental health at 70 in a very short, compressed period of time. Now, in order for me to get there, I had to train like I was gonna die. That's not difficult to do. The training part's fun. Everybody loves going to the gym and hitting the weights and the sauna. It's like for me, it's the best time ever. The hard part is the diet, because no longer are you consuming all this rubbish in your body that's throwing your insulin levels there, and then it's there, and then carbohydrates like absolutely destroy your will to live, and you're tired all the time. And when you're tired all the time, the bad thoughts creep in. Now, your mental health only gets repaired if you take action. So this is how I see it. If I wake up in the morning at 4 o'clock and I get ready and I go and train from 5 to 6, I feel proud, because I've achieved something before most people even wake up. And most mornings, I'll be honest with you, especially lately, I have shitty workouts. I go and I do back. I know I can pull X amount of kilos. On a machine, I can pull 120 kilos down. And today I can only pull 60 because my aggression levels are not there. I'm processing issues. But once I pull the second set of 60 and I go to 80, I pull 80, I'm pretty close to my personal best, and I feel proud. That spikes your testosterone levels, which means now you're in a state of mind as a man where you're balanced. Because as men, we're conquerors, right? A couple of thousand years ago, what we had to do is we had to go out there and hunt something and bring it home and, feed the women and children and protect them against fucking tigers, because cats used to eat us. Cats used to come in and eat you. Now, the moment that I feel proud that I've done something difficult this morning, it gives me confidence. So that confidence says to me, all right, on the way to work, you've got 6 or 7 very difficult things that you have to handle. In this state of mind that I'm right now, I want 70. Like, why only 6 or 7? You've got small ass problems, Bobs. Stop being a little bitch and get yourself some bigger fucking problems. And I speak to myself that way because my testosterone levels are through the fucking chart, because I'm proud of myself. I did something difficult and I never wimped out. I woke up in the morning, I trained, and then I got a healthy meal in, and I'm on my way to work, and I'm pumped up and I'm excited. Now that becomes a habit. So you can't think yourself positive, in my opinion. That's what I'm from real life losing a whole bunch of weight and gaining energy. You have to act yourself positive. So action will lead you to become that positive state, so that your mental health is. Now, is there doubts? Yes. Is there bad thoughts? Yes. Yeah, you know, I don't really believe in depression all that much. I don't want to offend anybody here, but depression is just, for me, it's you've got this problem and you haven't yet figured out how to fix it. So now you're worrying about the problem and not focusing on the core issues. How do you fix this problem? So, but I know that it's a real thing and people struggle with it, and like sympathy. It's just how I process it. So what is the problem? Let's fucking fix the problem so that we can move over to the next problem. But the moment that you act yourself into that state, it flows through to everything else. Now, why did I go and lose the weight? I didn't want to go and get a six-pack because I want to walk around on the beach December. That's why the gyms are so freaking full, because people in November want six-packs in December so they can go to Margate and walk around with their shirts off and look like Ronaldo. It's unfortunately, that's not how it works, you know, unless you get help from some substances, and I don't encourage that because you'll die young. But having said that, at, what was it, 37 years old, I'm 102 kgs. I'll never forget the day, and I'll process this with you in real time because I remember it like it was half an hour ago. Okay, I had a chorizo sandwich with someone that I worked with. Okay, so there's like sauces there, it's freaking delicious. Okay, believe it or not, the next day I went into the kitchen and I said to them, take this off the menu. You're not serving this to any human being while I'm alive. This is my coffee shop. We don't serve this to customers. You remove it. What about the ingredients? Cook it up and give it away. No problem. We're not throwing food away. Cook it up, and you're not selling it. You're giving it away. We're not cooking this anymore. Okay. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm 37 years old. I've got these cadets running around me that are 19, 20, 18, 21. These guys have more energy than anything else. The testosterone's running out of their ears. They want to sell cars. They want me to help them pull this car. Uncle B, this guy doesn't want to help me. Talk to him. For the first time in my life running this company, I held my head and I said, I literally don't have the energy for this right now. For the first time in my life. Okay. Then I just sat quietly for like a minute. I need help. This is going to, never mind, affect my health. It's going to affect the health and the well-being of my family. It's going to affect the health and the well-being of everybody's family around me, because I don't have the energy to teach these guys what to do, and they believe in me. They voted for me to be here, and I feel this way. I reached out. His name is Jock from Kaizen Wellness. And why he came to mind is, in the studio, I did a podcast with him on physical transformation. And I really liked what he said. He said, you know, it's a process. It's a very strict process. But if you're willing to commit, I can change anybody's life. And he's done guys like Kurt Darren, Dozy. We had Dozy here in the studio. Dozy is like 70 years old.
Yeah, he looks very good.
Dozy takes off his shirt. He's got an 8-pack at 70 years old. He's ripped. His freaking bicep vein runs away from his bicep to his forearms. Jock. So I phoned him. I said, brother, I need to see you. I need to see you now. I'm so sorry. This is an emergency. He lives about 20 minutes away. He says, Bobs, is it serious? I said, Jock, I've never been more serious. Brother, I need to see you. He rushes over. Said, there's a water. What's up? He said, Jockey, I don't have the energy to run this company. I feel horrible. I wake up feeling horrible. I go to sleep feeling horrible. I can't live life this way. It's not fair on the team around me. I can't lead these 19-year-old boys with 10% battery life in me. He says, Bob's done. What do you want? I want energy. He says, great. Can you commit to me for 3 months? And everything that you consume for 3 months, you need to send me a picture of. And we're going to count calories, and I'll train with you for 3 months every morning. What time can we train? I need to train myself start from 7, so 5 to 6, shower, sauna, get dressed, I'm here 7 o'clock. 3 months later, he changed my life. My mental state and my mental health has never been this way. I'm 41 years old. I know what I was thinking about and what I was doing at 20, at 25, at 30, at 35. I will eat everybody around me for breakfast and not even try. That's how much fire I have in me, simply because of the way that I went and transformed my body. All my levels are up. I'm testing everything, and my energy levels are through the roof. And my mental state is, let's go. I want to serve my team. I want to serve my customer. I'm here first and I leave last. I don't know what time it is, 7:15. This thing finishes at 7:30. We're packing up, we're going home, and we do this almost every night, and I work Sundays as well. So that mental health for me, Jock, sorry, I don't know who asked the question, for me, came from the way that I treat my body. I went like on a 17-minute rant there. Sorry guys, because we're here for customer training, but hopefully what I said, lands with some of you guys, and you go and listen. Like after Jock, I was clever. I went to a guy that's got 1 million plus followers on Instagram, and he said, B, I love your transformation, bro. I'm gonna make you a fucking beast. I'm like, can I look like you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, let's go. I went on his program. Week 1, I messed my shoulder up. Week 2, I messed this elbow. Week 3, I messed this elbow up. I messed myself so badly up that I couldn't pick up my phone with my left hand. I could not lift my phone with my left hand after Jock transformed and changed my life and gave me the best mindset and best energy I've ever had. I completely destroyed myself. I phoned Jock. I said, listen, he says, I know. I see you with him. Are you okay? I said, I'm not okay. I'm messed up. He's like, what's wrong? This is wrong. That is wrong. That is wrong. That is wrong. He came in. He helped me. I've never spoken to anyone else like. He literally changed my life. That guy, the best in the business. And he didn't pay me to say this. I'm just answering your question from my own life experience. Okay.
I've got another blacklisted question.
Okay. If I'm blacklisted more than 20 years ago, can I finance a car by you, Bobby? So 20 years ago, Davy Blom, we need to sit and have a conversation. We need to pull an ITC report, see what shows, and I can advise you after that. So you're welcome to reach out. Send me a WhatsApp. Just say you asked me the question in the group chat on TikTok. And tomorrow we'll just sit with an F&I team, have a look at your whole entire profile, and I'll be able to advise you whether or not we can help you, and if not, what you need to do from your side to help yourself help us.
Good.
Okay, Q, appreciate you, brother. Okay, Biscuit, will you be able to get back to me? I reached out about 2 days ago. Biscuit, just send me a WhatsApp. Remind me what you reached out about. What did you ask me? You can send me a WhatsApp. I'll look at it after this chat. Anything else?
Did the E46 get auctioned?
E46, that was the fastest auction we've ever had. We started at 6 o'clock. It was done at 6:20. The E46 sold for 300,000 Rand. Extremely cheap. The customer that bought it sent me images of his other cars. He's got a green E46 as well. And he said to me, now I have 2 manuals, Uncle B. So 300,000 Rand. I expect him to spend probably, to make that car, mid-Mac car, 100 grand. At 400,000 Rand, he's got a car that's worth, in 5 years, 2 to 3 times that much. That was a really nice car. Really, really nice car.
What's your opinion on a 440i?
440i. So, 2 versions. The F30 shape, rear wheel drive, not as much power as the G shape. Absolute animal of a car. The new shape. I'm driving a 340i tonight. In most circumstances, day-to-day driving, hand on heart, it's as fast as an M3. Probably faster than the F30 M3 off the liners. Not probably, it is faster than the F30 M3. And with a very small software tune, it becomes uncontrollable. Those cars are wicked cool. Wicked, wicked cool.
Toyota 86, also, what's your opinion?
On a Toyota 86, love Toyota 86s. A lot of people say, oh, it's underpowered, it doesn't have enough VUMA, it looks faster than it is, all this other stuff. Man, just go and drive one. Not everything is about straight line speed and being able to beat a Lambo off the line. The enjoyability of that car, especially a manual, the way the gearbox feels, the way that it turns, the way it's like 50-50 weight distribution. It's probably one of the nicest driver cars to drive. I've had a few tuned ones by Rob Green. He used to put superchargers on them, on the automatics and on the manuals. I've had 2 automatics. I've never had a manual tuned one, but the auto with a supercharger, that car is all over the place. It's uncontrollable, very fun to drive. I love them. I love them.
Hayley Rudolph is asking, on a random note, what language do you think deaf people think in if they were born deaf?
That's a good fucking question. So I've never thought about it, but that's a good question. So I think becoming deaf is a lot worse than being born deaf, because becoming deaf, you like have memories and what things sound like, and it will like frustrate you even more. Whereas if you are born deaf, you know, the sign language is what you were taught, and I think you probably, I don't know, man. What language do they think in? I'm not sure. It's a good question though. When I do training one-on-one with my salespeople, this is a very good, important note. Especially in South Africa, we've got like 11, 12, 13, 15 official languages and 70 unofficial languages. There's a language that everybody speaks here, it's called Pretori. And if you process life in Zulu, and then some random white dude phones you speaking eloquent English, speaking about repo rate, and you already lost him. So this is not a person like me. Whatever you're saying is not making sense to me, because you're not saying it the way that I want to hear it. So it's very important to look at the person. What language does this person think in? And then you can process issues with them even in English. So, you know, if you can speak multiple languages in South Africa and understand culture, because culture and context is going to elevate you to the next level. Afrikaans people, when our uncle walks in and our auntie say, "Oom, Tannie," that's just a sign of respect. Ek's nie 'n fucking oom nie. Dis net 'n respek. Groet. Wat is jou naam, meneer? My naam is Piet. Meneer Piet. Ek is nie 'n meneer nie, my pa was 'n meneer. Piet, lekker om te ontmoet. Lekker man. Okay, now we know you Piet. But I always start with oom. When an African gentleman wearing a ZCC badge walks in, or a lady, and I greet them, "Khotso," it's like they want to adopt me. I took time to understand the culture and the context and the value why they wear the star. They want to adopt me because they're saying, you know, thank you for just being interested. Of course, when a Zulu person walks in, I know the energy, the dynamic, everything is different. King Shaka is in here. Whether he's 6, 16, 60, or 67, King Shaka walked in here. You need to understand the dynamic and the energy that you need to revolve yourself around. You don't need to morph and start using the same dialect as the person. If you do that, you're a fucking retard. Like, don't ever do that. Speak the way that you speak, but try to understand culture and context and the way that they think, because then you'll have a connection. The moment you don't, you won't do a deal. Why are you laughing?
No.
Are you laughing about Piet?
Yeah, but yeah. Okay, Mira. Do dealers really need software for management? I've seen VMG and ADA Soft. ADA?
Do dealers really need
software for management?
So, management in the context of how the managers run their teams, is that how you're asking?
I think rather it's eerder om te soos hoe om te manage waar die karre opgelaai moet word. Is dit regtig nodig of kan hulle 'n ander stelsel gebruik? Dis
So
ek verstaan.
I don't mind VMG. I know Alan very well. Alan's one of my best friends, family members. I've known Alan for 20 years. He's an awesome guy. Are they fast to innovate? No. They shouldn't be forced to innovate, because they'll only innovate if there's a real need. Now they serve most of the non-franchise dealers. If we want to build a special feature or special function on our VMG, we reach out, he quotes us, he builds it, we carry on with life. Now, is it the best system? Is it flawless? I think no system is flawless. But if you understand the dynamic, you can use VMG and become dealer of the year back to back. We use VMG, nothing wrong with it. Are there faults? There are. I think the major leaks currently in that specific on that specific platform is when it comes to doing stock take at multiple locations. So we're busy developing something with them now to make it easier for us, because I want to do stock take with one person. It's unfortunately not possible with multiple floors. So one person per floor, and I want them to go click, 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 and the stock take is done. It's a little bit more manual and tedious at the moment. We're doing stock take tonight. There's probably about 5-6 people that are working overtime that get paid extra, so it costs us money. That once we're down tools at 5:30 or 5:45, no cars are allowed to move, and they'll do the stock take. But is the system flawless and perfect? No. Is it sufficient? I really enjoy VMG. I've got no issues against them. It's worked fine for us now. At one stage we were developing our own, and then I thought, listen man, we're just recreating what we already have, but making it 5% better. Is it going to make us more efficient, or is it not? Are we like throwing millions against something that we really need? The answer was no. Did a bit of dev work with them. They just build a few extra features for us, and we use it for our workshop as well, for our service department. So we cost multiple suppliers on one system. Is there any other cool questions?
Cocomelon het gevra, Elsie, do you get overtime? Yes.
Elsie doesn't get overtime. Elsie pays all her overtime to repair the rims she scratched.
There's no proof still.
Sorry?
Ek sê daar's nog steeds nie proof nie.
Daar's nie proef nie.
Nee.
Op die rims is daar proef. Die
Ek het
proef
dit
is
so
op die
gekry.
rims. Okay. Cocomelon. Ach nee. Is that your username?
Dis hoekom ek gestop het by kyk.
How do you name yourself Cocomelon Tolly? What's wrong with you, bro? How do you name yourself that? Now we need to change your name, mommy. Okay. Verlange Vlam. Okay. Usually what language do they saw that? Okay. Everybody's laughing at me here today. Is there no other questions that I can process with you? I'll take one more. We've got 1 minute. So if you have a question and you send it within the next 30 seconds, I'll process one. Otherwise, we'll call it a night and say thank you for joining. Any questions?
Jy kan al praat oor die kompetisie as jy wil. Moet net nie die woord sê nie.
Okay, so Elsie suggests we speak about the polo and the draw on the 27th. We will change somebody's life. This is a real big prize. The car is worth almost 700,000 Rand. I mean, there's a gentleman that came and supported us, and he bought a bunch of entries, and he said to me, Uncle B, I promise you, I give you my word, if I win this car, I'm going to sell it the next day, and I'm going to pay my mom's bond.
Oh, that's nice.
He said, bro, I'm praying for you that you actually win, because if that's your intention, you deserve to win this car and say thank you to your mom. Fine young gentleman. He actually works at a franchise dealer. He sells VWs. Very cool youngster. Very stylish as well. So it will literally change the future of your life, and hopefully, if you're a parent, I don't think you must give that car to your child going to university. In fact, I'm going to insist that you don't, because it is a fast car, and it's like a bit of a high risky car, but you can literally sell that car and buy your child something wicked and pay their university bills and educate them through winning it. So having